Well, let's take a look for you now at how the region is viewing those soaring tensions between Washington and Caracas. Today, the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, urged the United Nations to prevent any bloodshed in Venezuela. And let's go live for you on the program to Mexico City. Ioan Grillo, our correspondent, is with me. Ioan, what's Mexico's position on all of this?
President Claudia Sheinbaum this morning here in Mexico made this call for the United Nations to try and negotiate a peace here to avoid war, and said, we don't want to see intervention, we don't want to see war. However, overall, Claudia Sheinbaum's position is quite difficult here, and she's kind of on quite a difficult line. On one side, there's certain pressure from elements of the right wing here to condemn Maduro's regime itself for its human rights record, and she's quite easily not doing that, refusing to do that. But on the other side, she's, I would say, being quite cautious in her rhetoric and not wanting to really start a fight with President Trump. She's been working very hard all through this year to placate Trump and to deliver with Trump on certain issues like stopping migrants going to the United States, reducing the amount of fentanyl. And, she's trying to protect Mexico's trade. And there's, $750 billion of trade between Mexico and the United States. So she's on quite a difficult line, saying, calling for the United Nations, but it's kind of, you don't hear that much conviction in that being a real solution to this crisis.
How much concern is there where you are in Mexico that this will develop into a full-blown war?
I think a lot of concern, and there's very clearly, when you have this level of military buildup, Donald Trump saying this is the biggest blockade we've ever done in South America. This could easily become a war, an invasion, or blow up in many different ways. So there's a very real concern there, but it's also very hard to predict. It seems in some ways it is very hard to read Donald Trump and his cabinet on this. But in some ways, in some of the information that we're getting on talking to some people in US military, in US political circles, or people here in Mexico who are close to those, saying that Donald Trump wants Maduro to go. He does want a regime change, but he wants to do it without a war if he can. He wants to kind of push through these threats and through these certain actions, initially like blowing up alleged drug boats. And there was a conversation with one of the White House people, which came out yesterday, saying, well, he was hoping that blowing up drug boats would make Maduro see uncle, was the phrase, would make him like leave power. That didn't work. So it's now stepping up to the next step. And we'll see if this can really work in pushing. But there is certainly fear of a full blown war taking place.
Just a final question for you, Johan. How do Venezuelans in Mexico, where you are, view what's happening in their home country?
Yeah, there's a pretty substantial Venezuelan community here in Mexico. And there's Venezuelans who have come and settled in Mexico, but often basically refugees who have often many have left resources and wealth behind there and are very against the Maduro regime. And there's also many Venezuelans who have come through here to go to the United States, very large numbers, sometimes from very poor backgrounds, sometimes from middle or upper middle class backgrounds, though that route has generally been shut down now. And they tend to be very anti-Maduro, but also they're pretty cautious about openly calling for invasion, openly calling for war, because it could go very, very wrong. Wars are very unpredictable, and it could explode with all kinds of consequences.
Ioan Grillo talking to us live there from Mexico City. Thank you.